welcome back to another On Football Zone and to a review and a preview of all of the games that took place in the Champions League and European competitions this week, and a preview of the Premier League games this week, starting off with Bayern 1, Arsenal 0, and yeah, it was Kimmich in the 63rd minute who gave Bayern the win, and yeah, Bayern advanced to the Champions League semi-final. For Arsenal, yeah, I think it's fair to say they probably were second best in this game. Bayern at home just had that little bit extra for Arsenal, and Arsenal were disappointed not to win that answer. It's still a good season, first season back in the Champions League for Arsenal, still pushing in the Premier League, but I think they will be disappointed not really to have had the advantage going into this game and really give them a challenge. But moving on into Man City 1, Real Madrid 1, meaning it was 4-4 in aggregates, with Real Madrid winning on penalties, and yeah, Man City absolutely dominated this game, and to be honest, I'll be wondering how on earth they didn't come away with a victory over the two legs here, because for me they were the better side. It's not often you see Real Madrid play the sort of football they were against Man City, just sitting back and hoping to hang on and get its penalties, and that's exactly what they did, and they got over the line. Fair play to them, but yeah, City will be wondering how they can go through. But moving on into Atalanta 0, Liverpool 1, and it was Mohamed Salah in the 7th minute from the spot who gave Liverpool the lead, and at that point you thought that Liverpool were probably going to go and do it, but in the end Atalanta kind of restricted Liverpool to not much, and yeah, got the job done, so that's a big result for them, and one that they'll be really happy with, and yeah, kind of ensures that they go through, which is a big achievement coming up against Liverpool side, whose season just seems to be filtering out, and that's so disappointing in Klopp's final year. Moving on into West Ham 1, Leverkusen 1, and look, for a while like West Ham would be inflicting Leverkusen's first defeat on the season when Antonio made it 1-0, but Frimpong in the 89th minute made it 1-1, and yeah, with that ended West Ham's hopes of advancing. And West Ham, to be fair to them, actually played really well here. They were a better side, but in the end, yeah, Leverkusen got the job done, got through, which is obviously the main thing for them. But West Ham, I think, is always a tough draw. In the end, they did well in this second leg, and it's just those 10 minutes at the end of the last game. Moving on into Lille 2, Villa 1, and Villa 1 on penalties thanks to very funny antics from Emi Martinez, the penalty saving king, I think he's rightfully known as. It was 2-0 to Lille for a long time, but Matty Cash in the 87th minute got the goal back, which ensured that it wouldn't finish that way, and yeah, Martinez obviously got to do what he did best, and I think for Villa it's probably a bit more difficult than he would have been hoping for, but in the end they got the job done, and yeah, that's all that really matters for them, a big win for them. Moving on into Man City as they take on Chelsea in the weekend preview section now, in the FA Cup semi-final, and yeah, a game I'm really looking forward to, I have to say. Yeah, I think Man City and Chelsea will kind of both all fancy being their chances. Chelsea definitely seem to be improving at the moment. Man City, you know, they've just had that disappointing loss. Obviously Chelsea didn't have a game midweek, so you know, they'll come into it a bit fresher. City still competing for the Premier League. There are stuff going for Chelsea here, but I just still feel like on the day the overall quality of that City team may come through. I'm going to say 2-0 to City. Moving on then to Sunday's fixtures, and we got Coventry against Manchester United in the other semi-final, and yeah, this is a game that I'm really looking forward to. Coventry, the underdogs, who've done so well to get here, and Manchester United, for me, if there's any of the big six that would kind of really put in a flop performance here, I could easily see it being Manchester United. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. So I think Heart and Spirit against Coventry, against probably the obviously the better team than Manchester United. I'm going to say it will be 3-0 to United. I think in the end it's semi-final, big game for both these teams. They'll have enough. Moving on into the Premier League section of the preview, starting off with Luton against Brentford. And yeah, this is a massive game for Luton. Obviously, yeah, definitely still within, still got a chance of staying in the Premier League in this one. Yeah, only a few points adrift. So you know, they're feeling confident. Brentford, yeah, you'd say they're pretty much safe now. It'd take a kind of a big swing for them to really be dragged into relegation trouble. A home game, it's definitely very winnable for Luton. I think they've got to be targeting it, and I think they will do. I'm going to say 1-0 to Luton. Moving on into Sheffield United as they take on Burnley at Bramall Lane. And Sheffield United, yeah, you'd say they're probably down at this point. Burnley still do have an outside chance, and a win here would be massive for them. So yeah, that's undoubtedly what they'll be targeting here. I think Sheffield United is so poor. I think, yeah, in a way, Burnley just still have that small glimmer of hope, which, yeah, I think they can really get up for this game and see it as a big opportunity. I think they will do. I think they're going to get the win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Burnley. Moving on into Wolves 0, Arsenal 2 at Molineux, and yeah, this is a really interesting game. Arsenal, yeah, obviously going to be the big favourites, but it's all about how they respond to that setback they had against Villa. Obviously, definitely put them on the back foot in the race for the title. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm going to say, obviously heading out of Europe as well, they've had a bit of a tough week, but I'm going to say they will bounce back. I think they've got more character than they did last year when they kind of fell away. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. Moving on into Everton as they take on Nottingham Forest at Goodison Park. And yeah, obviously this is a big game for both these sides. Everton still need points in order to stay up, and Nottingham Forest still. Obviously we don't know what's going to happen with these teams in terms of points deductions. So yeah, it's a big game for both these sides. And yeah, one that you feel like if either team can really get the win, that will put them in a very strong position if they want to stay up. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Everton. I think they'll get the job done. Moving on then to Aston Villa as they take on Bournemouth at Villa Park. And yeah, Villa coming into this one. I think, yeah, at home game, Bournemouth are a better side these days than I think we've seen in the first half of the season. But yeah, Villa's position where they're still going full force for a Champions League spot, this has to be a game where they are looking to win. And I think in the end they probably will have enough quality here to get the job done. I'm going to say it will be a 2-0 win for Villa. Moving on into Crystal Palace as they take on West Ham. And yeah, this is an interesting game. For me, two evenly matched teams. At the moment, I think Crystal Palace kind of coming on strong, but West Ham still very much in the race for Europe. Obviously, kind of the games they play really does count against them. They want to have a chance, but there's probably more riding on the game for West Ham than there is for Crystal Palace, which is going to make it interesting coming into this one. And yeah, it's one that I do feel could go really either way. I think it's going to be a close game though, and I'm going to say it'll be 1-1. Moving on into Fulham as they take on Liverpool at Craven Cottage. And then I think Liverpool, their title prospects may well have gone by now, but it's still a big chance for them to get that win and just give themselves a glimmer of hope. Really, I'm going to say I'm going to say Liverpool do it, but whether it will have too much impact, I'm not sure. 2-0. So anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe for our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.